Okay, hello everybody. We're live again. Not that I'm centered up. There we go. Welcome back to Scrabble on Twitch. Hey Jake, good to see you. Thank you for being the early bird on today's stream. So today's going to be a little different. I'm definitely going to. Oh wow! Thank you very much, Salem Ithendil. That sounds like a Lord of the Rings style name. For a sub at tier 1. Oh man, this is a historic moment for this channel. I think you have earned the very first subscription to Scrabble Twitch. So that's quite a distinction. Thank you very much. It's very generous. Hey, Chess Bunzo, how are you? Yes. Hey, Mitch. So today's going to be a little different. We are going to do the norm. We're going to play games on Play Scrabble for sure. But we have some special content. And Chess Bunzo with the sub too. Wow. Thank you guys very much. Very generous. Obviously, we want this channel to be successful so that we can use it more and more in the future to cover more and more different types of Scrabble events. So hopefully we all feel a vested interest here, but very generous. Thank you both, of course. So today we're going to start doing a little bit of, making more people aware of a really cool partnership that we have coming up with Frontier College. So this is something that I was really honored to be a part of last year. Frontier College is a charity organization focusing on literacy efforts, primarily in Canada. And for years and years, Frontier College has had an event which they call Scrabble for Literacy. And obviously when the pandemic hit, they had to improvise. It's normally a live event, and the event moved online. So I was very, like I said, honored, humbled to be involved last year, and it's coming up again this year in just a few weeks. So just wanting to get a little bit of awareness going. I actually had a great interview and even a practice game with last year's winner of the Scrabble for Literacy charity tournament. So we will be airing that. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll just play a quick game myself against a bot or against somebody that wants to send me a challenge, and then I will air that clip of my interview and game with Gena Lowe. Very, very sweet woman. The winner of last year's finals. Sure, Jake, I'd be happy to play. We'll play a quick game and then launch into that clip. But part of the fun of hello, Doozum, nice to see you. Part of the fun of Scrabble for Literacy is that not only do donors to the charity event get to compete against one another, as Jake sends me a challenge here, but once they reach the finals, they get to play a 3-on-3 match as a team. So donors to the event get to play alongside a Scrabble expert. So last year that was Josh Sokol and Jackson Smiley. This year it's going to be Josh again, Axer Typo, as well as Chloe Fatsis. So that's very, very exciting to have those players. But also the finalists of the event get to compete alongside comedians Colin Mockery and Deborah McGrath, his wife. So if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, or surely other stuff that I've seen Colin, he was somebody who I was aware of already. So it was a total treat. He's hilarious. He happens to be really good at Scrabble too. Both he and Deborah are just naturals at Scrabble. So it's a really, really cool experience for the finalists. You get to play alongside bona fide Scrabble expert players, as well as some legitimate celebrities, really funny and just totally sweet people. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, that last year, that was Gena. She got to play in that environment and was able to come out on top. Hey, Ross. Hey, Dustin. How are you guys doing? Nice to see you both. All right, let's see. We don't have a ton of time here. I guess I'll do this to set my S up. Oh, man. And look what I've drawn. So I'm threatening a pretty nice big play. That play will still fit on the board. So yeah, we're just doing a warm-up game just to get some audience filtering in. Then I'm going to air that clip, and I'm going to watch it along with you guys in the chat. If anybody has any questions or thoughts about the charity event, that's going to be about half an hour, and then we'll get back to the games after that. So definitely, it's want to encourage anybody that feels strongly about literacy efforts, how important literacy is. Not everybody has the same access to the same resources when we're growing up to learn the art of literacy, and it goes beyond just knowing how to read and into other things like reading a prescription or filling out a resume. These are skills that are really important for people to have, and that's the sort of thing that Frontier's efforts focuses on. And it's actually amazing, just upsetting really, the figures of the numbers of people that lack those skills, and it's really important, the work that Frontier does. So basically hoping if anybody feels intrigued, the links are there. If you type in !Frontier in the chat, it pops up with some of the information. If you feel interested to contribute to the event, either as a player, you could earn the right to play alongside Colin Mockery and Deborah McGrath in the finals, or just to support the event. Very, very worthwhile in both cases. So, all right, let's see. I got to make sure I don't go over time here. The Waxf guy is speaking facts. Who is that? Who is the Waxf guy? Yeah, there is a meow in the background for sure. I'll play Taffy, even though it leaves WU, just because we don't want to flag here. Ross, what am I missing? Who is Mr. Waxf? Which that is obviously a very valuable word to know if you're playing from a UK English locale. Let me just see if this is working. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. Rudier. Okay, there's a nice bingo. I don't have a great play that goes down here, unfortunately. So I'll probably just play... Tricky. That's weird. I don't really have a useful play here. I would like to cover up the spot, so I'll just do that. I'm actually not winning by so much. Jake manages to subscribe to the channel while competing. Very, very impressive dexterity on his part. Let's see. I will play... I gotta get some of these vowels off my rack and somehow not flag either. Maybe that doesn't look as good as that. So let's do that. Okay. Decent looking letters here. I might be missing stuff, but I'm not sure. Wow, Jake not only subbing himself, but Jake with the gifted sub as well. Thank you very much. That is very generous. Thanks, guys. So yeah, I guess everybody has noticed that we have we have enabled affiliate status on our channel. So that does, it's definitely exciting. I think basically the goal for the monetization of this channel is that we would love to make it kind of a revenue neutral thing where any of the money that we're getting from this channel, we're going to try to put it right back into Scrabble events and event coverage. I think that's the goal. I don't want to speak too far out of turn and say that, I have the ability to determine where the revenue goes, but that's certainly my personal vision for this channel, is for it to be kind of like chess, where the chess Twitch channel is so vibrant and has so much activity going on, and is clearly a key component of chess.com's kind of strategy with popularizing the game to more people. So hopefully that in that spirit, and this is not a great play, but all right, surely I have some bingos here. This looks like totally ethereal. Okay, so now Deviant, nice play actually. Jake has the lead, but unfortunately for him, I have too good of a rack. So, hey Ross, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I was doing a little bit more on my personal channel these days. I know that it's to anybody that's subscribed to me on my personal channel. I really do apologize. It's just been kind of a busy go of it lately, but I definitely plan on trying to find some more time to get my streams in there. But there's more of us are sort of getting that energy, that forward energy, hopping into streaming, doing other stuff. Oh, looks like I flagged Jake there. All right, good game, Jake. That was tough. Obviously, Jake agreeing to play a 3-minute game out of deference to me, because we want to air this clip to support Frontier College. And again, the finals that we are going to air on Twitch will be on March 10th. So we're trying to get as much promo as possible, awareness of the event. It's going to be really cool. Colin Mockery, if you're not familiar with him, is just so funny. His wife, Deborah, is also hysterically funny. It was so fun having the two of them compete alongside our finalists and our experts last year. And one of those two finalists was Gena Lowe. So without further ado, I'm going to play this clip, and I'm going to watch it along with you guys in the chat. And once we have completed this clip, and it's going to be an interesting game we play after the interview as well. So there will be an interview and a quick condensed version of a game that the two of us played. And once we air that, we'll get back to me taking challenges and doing some other stuff here. So let me just see if this is going to work. I hope it's going to be intelligible for everybody.
Scrabble Go is proud to be partnering with Frontier College in support of their 18th annual Scrabble for Literacy event. Frontier College is a charitable organization delivering literacy programming across Canada, helping children, youth, and adults build their reading, writing, and numeracy skills. Donors to the event will first play games on Scrabble Go for a chance to play alongside comedians Colin Mockery and Deborah McGrath on PlayScrabble.com. I had a chance to speak with last year's winner, Gena Lowe, and play a practice round with her.
We are so excited to have Gena Lowe, the winner of last year's Frontier College Scrabble for Literacy event, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about her experiences with Scrabble, her experiences with the event last year, and a few other questions. Really excited to chat with you today, Gena. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Will, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So again, you were the winner of the grand finale last year, competing alongside, I think it was Deborah McGrath and one of our Scrabble ringers, Jackson Smiley. That was really, really exciting to witness. But I'm curious, how did you learn about this event, Scrabble for Literacy, and why did you decide to get involved?
Actually, the company I worked for, a law firm in Toronto, sponsored a team and entered a team in 2007, and I was part of that team. And so from then on, I sort of became the organizer for the firm to enter a team, and that was the first time I'd heard of Frontier College.
Wow, so that's 15 years ago now. So that must have been well back from before the pandemic was a thing. So I guess back when this event was a live event is when you became familiar with it first.
Yeah, it was that first year that I participated. It was held at the CBC building in the atrium. And I think I've been to 5 or 6 tournaments. So it's just really interesting to see how it evolved and grew over the years, always extremely organized and very inspiring because there were guest speakers, people who were involved in programs with Frontier College. And it was really, really inspiring to hear their stories, their life stories, and talk about how Frontier College helped them and turned their lives around.
That's amazing. Yeah, it is an amazing cause. Certainly one that I have been honored to be a very small part of as well. Certainly not for as many years as you have, or it seems like Frontier has been doing this a tremendously long time, and obviously it's shifted a little bit with the pandemic, and Frontier clearly committed to making sure that this event happens each year. I'm also wondering, in the past, so you were the winner last year. Let's make sure we emphasize that. And is that I mean, have you ever come close to winning before? And I guess I'm curious to know what your background is in Scrabble in general. Is it something that you've been playing all your life? Did you get into it specifically to play in this event in 2007?
No, actually, I've been playing Scrabble since I was a kid. I grew up in a house with board games we played all the time, not just Scrabble, but other games. So just, I guess, always just played for fun. So I would say I'm an experienced player because I have played for a long time, but certainly not a pro. It's just a recreational thing. It's a fun game.
For sure. I think that's, the tournament world of very, very serious players is a tiny, tiny fraction of the overall, number of players that are passionate about Scrabble and play Scrabble. And as you mentioned, have played Scrabble for basically most of their lives, learning from a family member and things like that. So, I think for every one shark of a player out there, there's thousands of players that still love Scrabble and can be said to be very experienced players like yourself, as you showcased last year. And speaking of last year, I'm very curious to know how would you classify, how would you describe your experience during last year's tournament in 2021? A little bit different, again, with the online play as opposed to in person, but curious to hear your thoughts there.
It was different, of course. I was happy that it was an online event. I moved from Toronto and the corporate world about 5 years ago, so it gave me the opportunity to play again, since it became an individual tournament. And I was quite happy for Frontier College that they adapted. And I know since 2005, it's been an important fundraiser for them. They've raised over $4.5 million since 2005. So that's
incredible.
Quite impressive.
Incredible. Yeah, that is amazing. And you mentioned that, back during some of those earlier in-person events, you heard some testimonials from people who benefited directly from those charitable efforts. And just wondering, if we can revisit that and just talk a little bit about why in general you feel that this is such an important cause and what it means to you to support literacy in this way.
Well, I was quite surprised to learn actually recently that 40% of Canadian adults don't have the literacy skills for some everyday tasks like completing a resume, reading a prescription, helping their kids with homework. Literacy is an essential life skill, and it obviously enhances someone's life.
Yeah, for sure. And I had, just like you, no inkling of that enormous percentage. And obviously, as you get later and later in life, literacy is something that our brains are sort of wired to do when we're very young. And if you did not have those opportunities as a younger person, it can be very difficult to relearn that skill of literacy as an adult. So it's very challenging and very important, as you said, so important for people to develop this really fundamental skill. So really a wonderful cause, certainly one that Scrabble fits in very well to help promote that cause. So if you're somebody out there that's on the fence about participating in this year's tournament and supporting Frontier College's efforts, Gena, what would your advice be to somebody like that?
Oh, just do it. It's fun. It's a great cause. I was shocked that I had the second highest score last year, and I have to say it was pretty much thanks to one great word that I had that was a 7-letter word with a Q on a triple. So
That's amazing when those moments come together. I think anyone that plays Scrabble long enough can boast of a moment like that. You just happened to have it at the perfect time and got you into the finals where you were victorious, winning last year's event. So, Gena, thank you so much for graciously answering all of these questions. And now what we're going to do just for fun is the two of us are going to play a quick game as well. Don't worry, it won't hurt just a bit. We're going to have a lot of fun and yeah, how are you feeling about that? I promise to be gentle.
nervous.
Well, that's the beauty of Scrabble, though, is that any given time you sit down to play, you can beat anybody in the world once you get to a certain point. It's not like some other games where, if you're playing chess, it's going to be tough to beat the chess champion. But I'm going to say you've got a chance to take me down in this game. So let's see how it goes.
All right.
Okay. Gena plays Maine. And Gena, if I ever play any words that you're curious about, you can see underneath the tile bag area, there should be a little combination that says chat and turn history.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have turn history on, you can click on any of the words that you see there and it should show you a definition of them. So I think I'm going to play a weird word here,
Okay.
which is sort of it's not that weird, I guess. It's like an exclamation of, oh, well, that's not a very good definition. It just defines it as a synonym of that word, but it's almost like saying pshaw or something like that.
Right.
Faux. So are you a person that enjoys the tactile feel of the tiles, the wooden tiles, or just handling the tiles in general, or does that not make that much of a difference?
It doesn't really make a difference to me. I've been playing now with the apps for so long that the
You're
other
used to
way
it.
actually feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a fair point. Maybe the last couple years, more and more people are apt to say that as opposed to the reverse, because it's a little bit easier to find opponents on a computer than it is during a pandemic over a physical board. So nice. And code. That is a nice word. Again, I don't think I have a super play off of this. Don't have any hooks to encode. I think I'm going to do this, even though it opens a triple for you. Hopefully you don't have anything too hard hitting on that triple. Hopefully not one of those Q words that you alluded to that scores a ton of points.
No, I don't have the best letters here.
That's definitely, that's a classic rule of Scrabble, is try not to open the triple word score if you can avoid it. But you got to remember, sometimes your opponent doesn't have very good letters, so you can get away with it sometimes. So, that was a very nice play, a very weird play, but in a good way. Okay.
So how old were you when you started playing?
Great question. So for me, my Scrabble career was got off to a rocky start because my mom, as is so often the case, when you learn the game from a family member, my mom taught me Scrabble when I was very young. But she had a really great vocabulary and was a very good home player of Scrabble. And I was a very sore loser as a kid. So the first few times we played, I lost badly every time. And a couple of times she played words that I've never heard of. And I said, I never want to play this game again. I hate this game. This is the worst game. I want to go back to playing Uno or something else, right? So basically, that was my start as a Scrabble player. And it took me it took me a lot of time to return to the game and say yes when my mom said, do you ever want to try this again? I think I was maybe 15 or 16 when finally I said, sure, I'll play this again. And at that point, I had played some other word games, so I was a little bit better prepared for Scrabble, and that's when it started to click that, wow, this is a pretty fun game, actually. So not what you expect to hear from a Scrabble champion is that their first experience with the game was a complete disaster and that they hated it. But that's the truth. That's the truth. So I started playing more seriously at age 15, but I only ever, was a casual word game player for a little bit of time until finally at about age 25, I took the plunge and played an over-the-board tournament for the first time, and I was hooked immediately. So that was that was in 2000. So you said 2007 was your first Scrabble for Literacy tournament. My first tournament Scrabble event was in 2009, so a couple of years after that. So we've been playing Scrabble a while.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I find sometimes people could have like a prodigious vocabulary but not be a good Scrabble player.
That's huge. That is a huge thing about Scrabble too.
Yeah, there's some skill involved, but there's the luck of the draw with letters, of course, right?
Absolutely. There's a ton of luck in the game of Scrabble, but also people don't realize how much math and geometry and critical thinking and all these other skills that go into it beyond just your vocabulary and your working vocabulary. So if I know these beautiful 9 and 10 letter words that you might see on the SATs, right? Like truculent and vituperative and stuff like that. That's nowhere near as important as knowing QI.
Right. Exactly.
So you can have a wonderful vocabulary and know tons of beautiful English words that are essentially irrelevant in this game, and you can be someone that doesn't have a great, that wouldn't be writing flowery prose or anything like that, and be an amazing Scrabble player because you know the important shorter words and a handful of longer words. Ooh, nice. I thought that blocked the play that I wanted to do, but in fact, I still get this. So to my point, I was just talking about QI being an important word. Well, how about this one, right? Surely you've seen that one before, cat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a word where you're not going to see that on the SAT very much, but you're going to see that in Scrabble a lot.
A lot.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. The words are very important as well. Ah, very nice. Cardio. Reminds me I need to exercise at some point today.
That was probably a bad choice setting you up, but here we go.
Well, I don't think I'm going to play through that C. So the first play that I'm seeing is, well, I see a couple of plays here. I see, well, I have a certain letter that's kind of nice, but I don't think I have anything very good through that C, actually, because I have this, which is a pretty good play with my J.
Nice.
Thanks. So now, not only is there one triple word open, now there's so many triple words open. So now, hopefully you can hit one of these.
Yeah, hopefully one of my 3 U's will be useful.
Oh no!
Here.
Oh no! Yes, that hurts. 1 U is bad enough. 2, 3. That's really unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. So is your partner also a Scrabble aficionado as well, or is that something that you share together, or is this more of just your thing?
We play together a lot using the app, but I beat him every time, so I'm thankful.
So it's nice. I feel like we all, in our family and friends, there's always that one person that seems to win most of the time. So you're saying that's you in your group, which is nice.
Well, he taught me to play chess a couple of years ago, so he gets even with me. But now I actually do win the occasional chess game. So
got it. So you're doing better at chess than he's doing at Scrabble for the time being.
Yeah.
Nice. I think I have a great play up there too. I'll play this. This is a lot of points, actually. Something gamey. Ooh, that's a classic. Okay, now you've just proven your chops as a Scrabble player right there. That's a classic Scrabble veterans move right there. Popping that X down for 50 points. Nice play, Gena.
Thank you. And it got rid of one U.
One of those U's came off too. That's great. So a couple of good things came from that. Okay, I have a cool play now. I think I probably must have something from the J. But I think this is a cool play. I'm happy with this.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fun. Through the C and the R, using up a couple O's and the Y and stuff like that. So I'm happy to see that one.
So is it true that Scrabble pros like yourself memorize words in groups?
Yeah, so quick answer to that question is yes, for sure. So, basically there are sort of tools and software that you can use that if you're familiar with in the newspaper, the next to, well, ironically enough, the cartoons, right? In the cartoon section, I just played cartoony. There's, something called the jumble, right? So, have you ever seen that in the newspaper, how there's a little game called the jumble? So basically, imagine that on steroids. That's what Scrabble players like do every day. So the jumble is like 4 words, but Scrabble players will sometimes look at 50, 100, 200 or more words in a day, and you're just training yourself to be able to unscramble as many different words as possible. And the reason we do that is because Scrabble is such a fun, rich game. And essentially, what we're trying to do is turn Scrabble into as pure of a strategy game as possible. So the least amount of time that we can spend on unscrambling words, and the largest amount of time that we can spend on strategic decisions and thinking about the nuances of this play or that play. It feels very rewarding to play Scrabble for a lot of people. Now that takes a huge time commitment, and you have to really, really, really love Scrabble, and also have a certain type of personality to pursue that type of study of the dictionary. You have to be really, really passionate, and probably be the sort of person that, as opposed to like, oh, I have 10 different hobbies and I spend a little bit of time on each of them, right? If you're a person that says, I have 1 or 2 different hobbies and I spend a lot of time on those hobbies, taking Scrabble that seriously can be incredibly rewarding in that sense. So it's, when I was a kid, I used to collect sports cards, right? I collected baseball cards and basketball cards and stuff like that. And I feel to a certain extent that I'm scratching that itch with Scrabble, but I'm just collecting words instead of cards, sort of. That's kind of how I feel like I get that same satisfaction from learning the dictionary as assembling my baseball cards as a kid. So anyway, this is all very fancy way of saying I'm a very, very, very big nerd. Huge nerd.
It's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am at peace with it. I'm happy with my nerdy choices.
If I don't seem really impressed, it's because I'm concentrating here.
Oh, of course. Yes. Thank you for that. But you are also allowed to not actually be impressed as well.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, but no you in there. Okay, so.
No, I now have a bunch of E's.
I see. So it's switched around from one problem to the next. That is the way of this game sometimes. Not sure here. That's probably okay. Oh man, I got a whole bunch of good letters all at once.
Nice.
Well, it's an embarrassment of riches. Nice. Oh, that is snazzy. What a nice play. This
Thank you.
beautiful tree that this is, and a beautiful play in Scrabble for sure. Juniper. Very nice. Not a word you're going to see get played every day. So finally, that J was tormenting us for so long. Now you've made a lovely play to get a bunch of points there. Okay, I'm going to play this play. It's a weird looking word. Hits my Z pretty hard though.
Oh, nice.
Azil. That's one that comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as nice as juniper, though.
No, that's a new word for me. That's good.
Well, yeah, it's defined as one of a pair of finger symbols. I'm not sure I would have known that for sure. I only knew that it was a word. So that's one thing that surprises people, is that Scrabble players often, in an effort to play Scrabble as effectively as possible, we're learning as many words as we can. somewhere along the way, you realize that actually learning the definitions of these words is somewhat secondary to knowing that they are words, and knowing what part of speech they are is certainly pretty helpful. But there's so many words in the dictionary that it's kind of your brain space is limited. So, blah, nice. That's a 30-point overlapping play there. All right, we're getting to the nitty-gritty of this game. Only a few tiles left. Sure, let's do that. Scores decently well. Okay. Ooh, interesting draw for me. Oh man, we've got different types of racks here. I have lots of vowels and you have weird consonants. Yeah, this is the part of the game where it's all clunked up. And I'm just happy that I'm the one with the lead because I don't think either of us are likely to have very inspiring plays at this point. So, yep, okay. Vent for Gena. I will play something like... I'll play this. Get some vowels off.
Nice.
Thank you. So yeah, another interesting thing about online play is it's certainly much easier. You can do this in Scrabble Go too, but it's very easy on playscrabble.com to see what tiles your opponent has. So I know that you can see that I have ERU. And...
You know what? I actually didn't realize that.
Okay, so that's a big difference. Oh. That's a big difference, yeah. So in this game, it's not going to make too big of a difference that we know each other's tiles, but there are some games where it's really important, where you can see, oh man, my opponent has an S and a blank really late in the game. I should probably not make a big S spot for them, stuff like that. So, but that's, yeah, the reason you probably didn't see it is because that's very different from the mobile game where you mentioned that most of your experiences with Scrabble Go. So. Mm-hmm. All right, tug at the bottom, and I will just play this. And that will be my final play of the game. So, okay, there you have it. So I do come out on top. Looks like the final score 392 to 268, but not without Gena making some very stylish plays, including Juniper, my favorite play. You see that's listed as her top word of the game. That was a lovely play. I think I had a lot of S's and a lot of good other tiles as well, so I can't complain about the letters that I drew. But Gena, thank you very much for joining me for this game. Hope you had fun playing here, and who knows, it's not out of the question that you'll be back in the finals again for a repeat appearance. Obviously, we hope that lots and lots of people sign up to participate and donate to Frontier College Scrabble for Literacy. And we'll see how this year's iteration goes. Gena, are you looking forward to competing again this year?
I am. Thank you for this opportunity, Will. I hope everyone comes out, registers, and plays Scrabble in the tournament and enjoy.
Sounds good. That's a message we can all get behind. So with that, we will conclude our game here and make sure that you look out for the URLs and links that you see on screen to sign up, participate, play some Scrabble for a great cause in support of Frontier College. Thank you very much, everybody.
Scrabble
Damn it, I tried to time it so it didn't start the clip again, but I was too slow. All right, there you go. That was a lot of fun. So I totally just want to thank Gena Lowe again for being so generous with her time, having so many nice, observations about her experience with the event. She says she's going to play again, so you never know. She might be a repeat champion. But hopefully we get lots and lots of people signing up. So again, the way it works is you donate, you go to the link that you're seeing in the chat. They have all the instructions laid out there for you. It's a 2-step process where signups close on March 1st, so there's still a little bit more time. If you're interested in competing, and I believe how it's going to work is you play over the course of a week, you play games on Scrabble Go with opponents that are determined for you, and whoever gets the highest scores, or I think it's maybe just the top 2 highest scores from those games, are entered into the finals, and you'll play alongside some combination of Josh Sokol, Chloe Fatsis, and Colin Mockery and Deborah McGrath. So if you're a fan of, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and you are, you dream of meeting Colin Mockery, I could tell you he is as sweet a guy as you're ever going to meet. His wife, Deborah, also incredibly sweet woman, hilarious people. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really, really entertaining game. I was the sort of producer last year behind the scenes. I'm going to reprise that role this year. I may be on camera a little bit more often than I was last year, but not by much. So that's going to be the format. Thank you guys for the good vibes in the chat. So, definitely want to be signal boosting this. There's going to be some more promos for this going out on our Facebook channels and probably emails and a few other levers that we can pull, but we really want this to be a success. And based on the little tracker that they have going, it seems like it's already destined to be pretty successful. It looks like $66,000 already raised for literacy programs in Canada. So that's, when you play against Colin, everything is made up and the points don't matter. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's a very creative guy, very talented with improv, clearly. So we better play with automatic word validation on to prevent any shenanigans. So, all right, with that, we have about 50 minutes in, so I'm happy to play some more games. If anybody else wants to send in a challenge, I'm standing by. Otherwise, I'll play a bot. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's Jake again. Oh, wait, what happened here? Oh, I saw a challenge from Jake, and now, okay, it's Dustin. Man, is Dustin overdue to draw some good tiles for once. Jake, I see your challenge here. I'll get to that after Dustin. I feel like Dustin is so overdue. The last few games that he's played against me and against Josh on those streams there, he's just gotten the short end of the stick. So I would be thrilled for Dustin to take me out in this game at long last. So just teaching literacy to Canadians involves showing them how to properly spell all the words that they spell with a U. I guess I don't know. I guess not. So I wonder if that's something that you can stipulate. It actually does occur to me that I'm not 100,000% sure. What where, if any, places are sort of geographically limited in who can donate. It may be just US and Canada, but I think the website will have more information about who can donate and from what locations. Okay, Irate is played by Dustin. Hopefully he's not trying to send me a message with that. So this is sort of a positioning thing where, let me get my little streaming telestrator. Let's hope it's in the right place when I open it, because I just want to show. Yeah, looks like it's in the right place. Okay, so the positioning here is putting the vowels next to these bonus squares. That's something where, as Dustin plays more, he'll probably realize that just shifting, or maybe he has a P or he's trying to do something interesting there, but placing these vowels next to the bonus squares is going to make a play like this hit much harder than it would have otherwise. So you can see I have two 4-point tiles. And when irate is played with those vowels next to the double, they're going to score a lot of points. That's 37 points for this very simple 3-letter play. So that could have probably been avoided. Let me just see if I'm missing anything bigger. I doubt it. I think this is very likely to be a good play. So let's play Yao. And look at this. So right away, things continue to, well, I guess it's not clear where this is playing, actually. So where would I play this word? Maybe nowhere yet. This is not going to be valid in this lexicon. I don't think I have any irate hooks. Do I have something through the I? I don't know. So it's possible that I have a 7-letter word that's not going to fit. Maybe Dustin's pulling a Josh move to play just to troll. Yeah, it would be. So very few people have the trolling pedigree of somebody like Josh Sokol, aka Axer Typo, who you've been seeing here every week on Thursday nights for the past few weeks. Josh is a skilled troll. The don't try this at home type of troll. Jeremy, you can give tips when a play has been sort of killed. Like if I have a play that's no longer possible, you can definitely mention it. But until then, I'm going to try to read the chat. So we'll see. For the time being, I don't really mind. If somebody says a bingo and I can't play it, it's not the end of the world. But we are going to try to do our best to allow me to continue looking at chat. This this is probably what you are thinking about. Okay, so I'm gonna say that I probably would have seen this. So the L hook on Yao is perfectly reasonable for me to play this word. I don't think Jeremy's comment led me to flip that switch in my brain. I think that's just one of these things where I happen to see it. Sometimes that it's a little bit alarming to me sometimes that happens, where I'll be sitting and I have a bingo on my rack that doesn't play, and I'm just looking around, and then my opponent finally makes a move, and all of a sudden the opponent's move doesn't change anything material about the board, but all of a sudden I see something that was that I went blind to on the previous turn, and I was like that close to missing it. And I just don't know, like, how can I transcend that? You would think I would be beyond that by now. Obviously, to cut myself a little bit of slack, some of it is that I'm streaming, I'm chatting, I'm devoting a little bit of cognitive energy, to being, entertaining as opposed to just playing as well as I can. Yeah, Arlong says you had me questioning my sanity. Yeah, of course. No, it's don't give me too much credit. Don't give me or Josh or anybody else too much credit for being infallible. We definitely can make mistakes, just like anybody. Something I often say is that a lot of what you're trying to do in a Scrabble game is to not make unforced errors. And there are a lot of plays where when I make that play, I'll say to myself, yeah, I should see that play 99 times out of 100. Right? Like that's a play that's pretty automatic. I should see that every time. But if you take that literally and you say, well, I should see that 99 times out of 100, it means one time every 100 times you're going to make a mistake that drives you insane, that you should feel like you should never make. but there are so many things to juggle in Scrabble that it's really difficult to go from that 99 times out of 100 to 100 times out of 100. Any tips for avoiding myopia like that? So, if I had a tip that I felt like would be something where it just flips the switch and starts working to achieve that, I wish I had a tip like that. Unfortunately, I think that's something that most of us kind of struggle with, even still, no matter what your experience level. So I guess my only tip is to come up with some way of approaching your turns and approaching your decision-making process in each game that's very methodical and some kind of approach that's repeatable no matter what the position is. So what I mean by that is, the first thing that you should do on every turn, look at your 7 tiles, no matter how bad they look. At least imagine for yourself for a second, could there be a 7-letter word in here? Because so many misses of those bingos are on turns where you don't even stop to think, could I have a 7-letter word? So take a moment and say to yourself, do I possibly have a 7-letter word here? I'm doing that and I say, no, there's no way I can. Then I try to look at this rack and I say to myself, what word would I play in a perfect world from this rack? Would I play cloth? Right? Would that be my favorite word to play here? Would I play volt? And if I have a word like that stands head and shoulders above the rest, I'm going to look at the board and say to myself, okay, I've got a word I want to play. Does it fit anywhere useful? Okay, then after that, I say to myself, where on this board would be my perfect place to play? And I think my answer here is probably through this T. I would love to play something through this T, but in fact, because I have 6 consonants and only 1 vowel, the odds of my best play being there are lower than usual. So I'm going to start looking at alternative places like these vowels and an overlapping play along here. So like all of this stuff, this little checklist and this progression of things that I'm doing each turn, as you do it more and more often, it starts to become more natural, more, the steps start to flow quicker from one step to the next in that little ladder. And hopefully, as you get more experience, it starts to feel like you're missing fewer nuances of each turn. It's not. I wish there was a more of a magic bullet to it than that. So I think this is likely to be as good of a play as I'm going to find here. I mean, it scores pretty well. Oh man, now I've drawn this. So there's no substitute. Oh, very nice. Okay, doubly painful, because it blocks my big bingo through the eye, and it's a great bingo for Dustin of Fire Dogs, which, wowzers, very, very nice. Okay, now I'm going to have to buckle down and try to find a much trickier play than what I just had. Yeah, Fire Dogs, very nice play, isn't it? Nicely done, Dustin. Okay, so now what? So going back to that previous turn's analysis, I probably would like to find a play down there that uses a strong letter here, ideally a V and a C. I don't think I have a play like that, so I have to decide whether I want to play Vile or Vil or something like this, or maybe there's something heavier. Another option would be to play Cavil here. That's actually probably a pretty reasonable choice here. 30 points. It doesn't keep any of my two high scoring consonants. This scores 33. Maybe it is worth it, actually. This might be worth it. This is kind of nice too. That's 39. It leaves 2 L's. anytime you have a chance to not leave two of the same letter, it tends to be a good choice. Do I have some other, like... that's not a word. Okay, so there are a bunch of different ways I could go here. I think I'm going to do this just because I want to keep something a little bit consonant heavy in general, and I want to pick one of these E's to go with this nice... If I can just get an E to go with this, it's going to make me feel like I have pretty good balance here. So let's go for that. And Salem Ithindale with a gift sub. Okay, no... Oh, wait. Almost Wildcats. So if an open A were to become available, I would have Wildcats. And I think that's probably all I can hope for with this rack. So anyway, after Fire Dogs, Dustin is hanging with me here. A very, very nice play. As you guys can see, it means a metal support for logs in a fireplace is a fire dog. Also, andiron and endiron. So, hold on. What does that say? Yeah, we'll keep the auto message going for Frontier just to continue to make people aware of this cool opportunity. If anybody's feeling like they want to donate to a good cause and get a chance for a pretty unique Scrabble opportunity, this would be a great time for it. Okay, hand. Nice overlap. So my situation here is too many consonants. I could just do something like this and hope for a vowel. In fact, what happens here? I need an A or an E after this, which isn't great. So if I got an E, I would have delicts. And if I got an A, I would have cladist, which would play here with cladists. And here. So my odds of... So there's 48 tiles in the bag. 3 A's. 6 E's. 9 E's, so 12 of the 48, which is exactly 25% of the time. So a quarter of the time, if I dump my W, I have a bingo. That seems decent, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty good. I probably can I do better? What if I do this? Is there any way to, like... Is that worth doing? No, I don't think so. If I had a way to go down all the way without using my S, I would probably want to do it. Let's go ahead. I'm a gambling man today. Okay, well, we got lucky. Quarter of the time I draw this, and now I will very, very likely have some combination of this bingo here or this bingo here. It's going to be hard to block both of those. So that's good. Hey, physics. Physics is a fire dog. Nice. It feels like a McGruff, the crime dog type guy, a fire dog, teaching you how to not start forests. Well, I guess I'm conflating McGruff and Smokey there. All right, D-Vane. That's a clever little spot to play. Okay, so the only question now is where to play. Putting an S in the triple lane certainly feels worse than putting a D in the triple lane there. So unless I'm missing some much better play, I think in the interest of time, I just need to play this. And this looks pretty good. I feel like I'm close to bingos here, but maybe not quite there. So clearly in this situation, Dustin has strong incentive to play something down to this D. I'm going to expect that he will do that. If he doesn't, then I have good plays. This is actually kind of a scary spot to score quite well with an S. This S is also nice and open. The S is probably the best letter to play a bingo to of any in the alphabet, just because it pluralizes so much and so many other suffixes and other things fit there. So there's a lot of opportunity on this board. I guess the nice thing is my letters are balanced and I have some good scoring ones. Okay, there we go. So there's avid, blocks off the D. Is this good in this dictionary? No, it's not. I think that's good in Collins only. This might be what I'm supposed to do. 34, go through a bunch of letters. Do I have something here? I don't know. I would love to do something with a high scoring letter in that spot, but I'm not sure I have anything like that. Okay, I'll do this. This gives back a decent score to the triple, but it's not as bad as it could be because this is just a vowel that can fit there as opposed to a consonant. So I'm all right with this. So let's try that. Hey, Scrabbub, thank you very much. I am having a good day. So if you're just getting here, we spent most of the first hour of today's stream watching a clip of my game and interview with Gena Lowe, who very graciously agreed to speak about her experiences participating in the Frontier College Scrabble for Literacy charity event, which you can query by typing !Frontier in the chat. Will Colin be playing Collins? No, I don't think so. I think we'll just be playing good old North American NWL. Ooh, okay, souring. All right, have to buckle down here. I must be able to. Oh, never mind. Okay, so my play here is pretty obvious. There's no need to wait. That's got to be it, unless I'm missing a bingo. And of course, I just drew tempers out of the bag. So we'll see. I guess emptiers will fit here if I need it. 76. So it's going well for me here all of a sudden. Dustin he's still in the game though. So let's just see. Great question from Scrabbub. Can you explain the concept of equity? Yes, absolutely. So equity is a numerical value. What does it measure, right? So let me give you a theoretical situation. Let's say you're choosing between two plays. One play scores 20 points and leaves ERST, okay? And this guy's getting into the act now too. So 20 points, don't worry about what the word is. One play scores 20 points and leaves ERST. Another play scores 20 points and leaves RRRR. Okay, 4 R's. So the two plays score 20 points, right? So a lot of bots are going to consider them to be equal, right? Like the Scrabble Go bot probably currently considers those two plays to be equal because they both score 20 points. But we know as Scrabble players that one play is clearly better than the other, right? The play that leaves ERST is better than the play that leaves 4 R's. How do we know that? Because we try to assign those leftover letters to have some kind of predictive numerical value to them as well. And that value is what we call equity. So the equity of a play consists of the combination of how many points it scores and how good are the letters left over for next turn. And the reason that it matters how good the letters that you leave over for next turn is that is the best predictor that we have of how successful your next turn is going to be. So when you see different plays evaluated by equity, it's our numerical attempt to combine the score of the play and the value of the letters left over into one nice, tidy number that can give you a good approximation of how good that play is, especially when you're measuring two plays that are very similar in score, but very different in the letters that are left over for next turn. Yeah, you guys are doing a good exercise of trying to figure out what is a 3R play that makes my example make sense, which it's going to be very difficult to do, but good attempts, I see. Okay, so I need to actually make a play here as well. I guess I could just do temper here unless I'm missing some considerably better spot. Emptiers doesn't still play. I don't think I almost like templates, but then it leaves that R left over. Okay, let's just play temper. I don't love that this is the last two E's. I kind of want to keep an E, but I don't have a great way of doing that, so I'm just going to play it. Okay. I don't think I have, like, subcostal, I think is a word or something like that. But Jake says, hey, Will or others, where do you recommend I look for a Scrabble club to play in? Yes, I think there are some great open to everyone clubs on Woogles. I know that they have a handful that the WGPO club on Woogles is open to people from all over the world and the country. That the Coco Club, if you do want to play or are willing to play in Collins, that's a great example of a club that has people playing from all different geographical locations. That's definitely a lot of good options there. Fondly, I remember the days of actually setting up some of those club rooms myself. So, yeah. Oh, physics. I think there's no prohibition on that whatsoever. I think maybe the more controversial thing would be talking more about Woogles, but I really don't want this to become a channel where that's some kind of forbidden word, especially because Woogles is doing so many awesome things for the game. So, I just have to acknowledge that, we have our goal here of promoting our site and our channel, but I don't think it's completely exclusive with acknowledging all of the great stuff that Woogles has done. But with respect to the Scrabble organizations, Scopely is very, very much kind of organization agnostic as of right now. We want to do as much as possible with, I guess I shouldn't empty the bag here, should I? Because with that blank, I probably could lose. So maybe I need to, I'm going to take an overtime penalty now. So let's see. Now I probably really should not be emptying the bag. So what to do then? Maybe just this, oddly. This helps me not, oh wow, look at that. And isn't this a word too? Is this, wait. Yeah, I was going to say, as I type it, it doesn't feel right. So, but it looks pretty good. Subfocal looks pretty good. But yeah, to the extent that I think, oh, sorry for the links. Yeah, sorry guys. The links are, I don't know. Maybe I can enable them if only briefly, but, yeah, probably best to whisper any club links or stuff like that. All links are getting bopped on here, unfortunately. So, yeah, I definitely expect on this channel you're going to see some stuff from WGPO. You're going to see some stuff from NASPA. You're going to see some stuff from Collins Coalition. I think that we would be crazy to limit ourselves when there's so much good content out there that we want to sort of unlock for a wider audience. I'll just play fob here. I don't know if I have anything much better than that. So we are hurtling towards the end of this game, and Dustin hung in there pretty good this time. But again, I just feel like every time I need to have a good rack, I have it, or Josh has it, or whoever. So it'll have to wait another stream. But really, kudos to Dustin for like consistently showing up to these streams and taking on some literal best. Josh Sokol and I are two of the best players in North America, and to continue to play against us and learn and battle and test your wits, I think that's like the best possible way that you can improve at Scrabble. So I love to see it, frankly. That's kind of how I was wired when I was starting out too. So, and thank you, Lola, for that qualification. Yeah, I guess it's not that big a world. Josh isn't best in the world. He is surely one of the best players in the world. When you consider the full number of people that are playing Scrabble, he is the top 1% of 1% of thousands of players of Scrabble out there. There is no way that Josh Sokol is not among them. It's been a while since I did the Bernie on my personal channel. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with the politics, of course. Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, that's one that goes over well on my personal channel. Physics is, you have to. I think that's like a classic thing. I've remarked about this before, where like. We measure ourselves by the people that we are in close proximity to. So for me, like, I often measure myself against, let's play Scum. Okay, so that's it for Dustin. GG, Dustin. Fire Dog's a beautiful play. Tax. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, that was a good game. Not sure if I missed stuff. I definitely could have. If anybody saw something, feel free to point that out. I'm going to go ahead and play Jake in a slower paced game now. But just to finish my point, I definitely feel like there are amazing, amazing players in Scrabble who nevertheless are very hard on themselves, very harsh, are kind of unwilling to accept that they could reasonably be classified among the best players in the world. Like Physics is Fun and WTF are two of the best players in the country and the world. The problem is because those people are just hanging out with so many other people that are elite Scrabble players, they forget that there's literal millions of players out there playing Scrabble that couldn't even comprehend how good they are, right? So I also think that in Scrabble for years and years and years, I was very prone to this sort of thing where when I was reviewing my games, and there's a whole like repository on this wonderful website. Let me find it, not dox myself too much. But I'm not going to necessarily encourage anybody to like start going to this website and reviewing everything that's on here. But like this is a repository of basically every game I've played for a long time. So I look at all my Scrabble games that I play at tournaments and I annotate them and I put commentary on them and I post them onto Cross Tables, which is a wonderful resource. It's basically a big, awesome, upcoming events list with so much more functionality than that baked in, including this annotated game and statistical record keeping, I should add. So I have like hundreds of games, maybe 1,000, probably not 1,000, probably like 500 annotated games on there. And in many of those games, I am just eviscerating myself for mistakes that aren't even that big, right? Like I'm just going bonkers on myself. It's so mean, like the mean-spiritedness of, the things that I'm saying in these annotated games. And I think a huge part of it is you want to be hard on yourself in that sense to spur yourself to improve, right? You want to be, if you're annotating a game and you make a mistake, you wouldn't want your audience to assume that you're okay with that. So you overcompensate and you just say, wow, this was terrible. I should never made I should never have made this type of mistake. This is unacceptable, garbage, awful, the worst play I've ever seen myself make. All of that sort of thing. And that is more performative than anything else. It doesn't actually help you that much, at least in my case. I would not say that approaching Scrabble in that way really helped me get better. In fact, the best thing that I learned is to be kinder to myself, right? And to analyze my games, not with the intent of uncovering these mistakes that I could then shout and scream and be pissed off at, but just to learn and just treat every game as a learning experience and see what I can come up with that I wouldn't have realized about that game, and try not to be so angry. And that bleeds into the way that you view yourself as a player. You have to realize that, depending on the circles that you run in, and Lola, this is for you specifically in response to your comment, right? Lola just competed in a tournament that had 6 or 7 former national champions in it and came in last, right? That was probably the only cabin in America where if you held a Scrabble tournament within it, that Lola would have come in last. In that, like, if Lola was traveling the country and saying, hey, is this a cabin? Can I start playing a Scrabble match with you people inside this cabin? Lola picked the only one that she would come in last. And you got to remember that, right? Got to remember. So it's a lot of Scrabble is sort of a function of who you're hanging out with. So for people who are habitually challenging people that are extremely experienced, decades-long resumes in the game, just because you're losing games against those people is not a referendum that you're the worst in the world or something. It's a function of those people. So, and if you can get beyond that and realize that it is the best way for you to grow as a player, to surround yourself with as many of those people as you can, I'm hopeful that doing things like watching these streams, right, having access to a strong player's thought process will sort of function in that same way. Maybe with a little less, high stakes to it, where you're not actually in the game. All right, so what am I doing here? On that note, let's try to come up with a play. So I could play this. It scores 22 and leaves 3 vowels and 1 consonant. I don't really like that. I could play this. It scores 20 and leaves more balance, but still 2 O's on the rack. This might be a situation where whatever play I make does not solve all of the problems that I would like to solve. Have to at least brace myself for that. Is there no, woven, something like that would be just what the doctor ordered, but I don't think that's going to cut it here. Woman, I don't think I can play that. I guess I'll just play a vowel and hope for the best. Oh, I think this is a Collins word, cornworm, right? I'm pretty sure. I would play cornworm in Collins, but not. So I'm not gonna play this. I'm gonna kill this word for myself. I'm just curious. You know what? Maybe it is NWL. I don't remember. Yeah, okay, it is Collins. So my initial instinct was correct. If it was NWL, I would not have played it because I cheated by looking in the chat. Is there a correct thing to do whenever your rack has a bingo but you can't play it at the moment? I mean, that's a great question. Depending on what the rack is, obviously there are some racks where the letters involved aren't actually that good for playing bingos. You just happen to have one in the current moment. This is a nice play. That looks quite good. Could I have anything better than that? I doubt it. What do you think? He just loves to sit here. Yeah, he's so cute though. So Gerhard says, where are you playing Scrabble? So depending on where you are from, you can hop onto this website right now. It's in beta right now, and it's only available to players from the United States and Canada, but it is coming to the rest of the world very soon. And the URL is playscrabble.com. So this is a newer site. It's being developed by Scopely, the same company that created Scrabble Go, but it has a very different look and feel to it that hopefully is more appealing for some of the purists out there that were looking for a different experience than what Scrabble Go provides, just to put it diplomatically. So Norway, congratulations, by the way, on your countrymen's incredible performance at the Winter Olympics. I was just looking at the medal count and saw that Norway has to have the best gold medal per capita of any country by far at the Winter Olympics, which just concluded. So Norwegian pride for sure in that sense. But yeah, I think probably within a week or two, not to put a date on it necessarily, but I'm hopeful that within a week or two, you and everyone else in the world will be able to play on this site as well. All right, let me finish my point to Dustin. So my point to Dustin is a lot of the times when you have a rack that bingos, the letters are really good. So you have to be careful that if the board does not currently support you playing a bingo, you have to ask yourself why, right? Why is it that I have this bingo that I can't play? So if you have a bingo that ends in S, right? Let's say you have workers, reworks on your rack, and you can't play it anymore, anywhere on the board. You have to ask yourself, why? Is that because probably there's no S hook? There are no words that you can pluralize on the board. So if you're just going to make a play hoping to bingo on a future turn, you have to acknowledge that reality and say to yourself, well, if I can't bingo now, what's to say that I will be able to on the next turn unless I open a spot for myself to do so? So you have to try to be realistic and assess the reasons why you cannot bingo and try to rectify that issue for a future turn, would be my advice there. Okay, so this is fun. This is fun because of this, right? Like if I play this, I can put this here, which would be a funny hook in addition to the S's. But I think, as nice of a word that is, I probably want to play this. No, I had it wrong. I'm going to put this here. Yeah, there we go. So that's 73. It doesn't create any scary hooks that make me nervous like the other one, and it gives me a pretty good size lead. So let's play that. And Josh would play harmonic. Yeah, I guess I need to be cognizant that what is it that we're looking for from me here? Is it for me to play solid, careful Scrabble, or is it you guys want content above all? So if it's content, I should have played harmonic there in a heartbeat because it's the funnest, craziest play. But if you guys are wanting to watch me play in a strategically sound manner, that's probably not harmonic. Well, okay, so here's the thing with harmonic, right? So if I was going to play harmonic there, you have to, this is where the human element of Scrabble comes in. So if I'm choosing between those two choices, do I think my opponent is going to miss the A hook on harmonic, right? If they do have a larger than average chance of missing that A hook, then it's probably correct for me to play harmonic there, because anytime my opponent has an A and not an S, and Mrs. Harmonica, that's a win for me. So, it's definitely there. Hey, Transman9216, thank you very much for the subscription with Prime. Really appreciate that. Wow, this is, we've got 4 or 5 subs to the channel, and it's our first stream as affiliate. Really appreciate that, everybody. Again, I am hopeful to sort of create sort of a community investment in the success of this channel. I think the more successful that we can be on twitch.tv/Scrabble, the more investments that we can make in Twitch and in Twitch broadcasts and things like that. And I'm really, really optimistic that that can be a huge difference maker for us as we continue to grow the competitive side of our game and to just sort of revolutionize content creation in Scrabble the way that chess has done. You can just find so many really amazing chess content creators out there. And I really believe that this channel can be a huge foundation for doing some similar things in Scrabble. So not to say that people should, come here and bank their hard-earned money on this channel. There's definitely would encourage folks to head on over to people like Axer Typo on his channel, streaming tons of word games all the time, doing amazing work and amazing content. That would be a great recipient of subs as well. So, all right, I guess I only have one vowel. I don't see a great way I'm scoring outside of this spot here, so I'll just play Vent. I don't love playing Vent here because it creates this E hook that makes a pretty nice scoring response. But I couldn't play Vend here because Ned is not playable in this dictionary, so I was sort of constrained to play this word here. Yes, classic Tetris, absolutely. I am a follower of Monthly Tetris on Twitch, and I think I just saw that very recently they achieved the Twitch partner milestone, which is great. They've had the viewership to do so for quite some time. That was really cool. I think competitive Tetris, it is absolutely one of those things where tons of people know the game of Tetris, but maybe not as many are active players or competitive players. I think Scrabble actually has maybe a little bit of an edge on Tetris, where I would think the player base for Scrabble is actually pretty enormous, of people who regularly play Scrabble or even Words with Friends, Wordle, clearly. Although I was just mentioning to other friends, like, if anybody's seen, so Wordle obviously got bought by the New York Times, and a couple of words like agora or agora, however you would say that, was a Wordle solution not long ago. And I guess other words like swill and tacit and a couple, I can't remember. There were a couple others. And caulk, CAULK. Those were a bunch of recent Wordle solutions. I'm sorry for the spoilers if you haven't done the Wordles religiously each day. But my point here is that there was like a revolt by Wordle players about uncommon words, right? They were pissed at caulk being there. And when I see that as a Scrabble player, I say to myself, oh my God, are we ever going to go mainstream if that's the threshold of what most people consider to be an uncommon word? Like, look at the words on this board: ajuga, omniarch. If somebody thinks that caulk is too obscure to be in a word game, how are we ever going to break through? But I actually feel like maybe that's okay. Like, maybe it shows that, like, even the North American English Dictionary is going to be, for certain people, it's going to be a bridge too far. And then if you kind of lack that response to this sort of thing, then maybe any dictionary is going to be okay. Like so what I mean by that is like there's going to be some people for whom any word out of their working vocabulary is a bridge too far and it's going to be annoying for them to see. And if you're okay with seeing words you don't know, then that opens up this world of more obscure lexicons, the likes of which Scrabble has to offer. So I don't know. I was mortified to see the words that people were saying were too obscure for them. All right, what do I do here? I have a weird rack. I have 2 Ds, 2 Rs. I have basically two choices here. If I want to go, I could play huddle or hurdled or something like that and just get out of this rack as fast as possible for 13 points. Or if I want to, I could play her for 25 points and close off a little bit more of these ominous places to play. I think they're actually probably pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and play this just because I don't really want to allow a big reigns play. That seems like a worse thing to let myself get hit with. Yeah. So, yeah, it depends on the target audience. Salem says, I'm Spanish and those less common words are pretty obscure for me. Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a thing where not everybody's coming from the same experience level with the English language, and that's definitely something that the New York Times would do well to keep in mind. Yes, the old game show lingo for sure. I remember, and Wordle was taught to me by my mom as the game Giotto. That's how I remember being taught this game. I'd never heard of it as anything else until Lingo, and now it's called Wordle. So it's not a new conceptual. It's not a new idea. Hey, Strategy. Strategy says, I mean, you get that reaction at literally any club or college across the country. Yeah, absolutely. But what I mean is that you're looking for people that kind of have that gene or reaction to not shy away from a word that's unfamiliar to them, no matter how obscure it is. I know it's shades of gray, obviously, but I think it might be one of those things where if you can just find people that view words that are unfamiliar to them as a learning opportunity first and foremost, that's sort of our wheelhouse if we can find those people. All right, what am I doing here? I need to find a play. I have a Y here. I guess I should be playing something like Diddy. This seems reasonable. Scores pretty well. I only have 1 vowel plus a Y. I think this is probably okay, unless I'm Tridley or something. Yeah, I think this is likely to be good. I also have to speed up my play quite a bit, or else I'm going to flag. Way to fix the buffering. Are other people having buffering issues? Oh, fruitful, beautiful play. Lovely play by Jake through the U. Nice bingos. Yeah, I haven't had so much as a dropped frame here. It says 0 drop frames, so I'm not having any issue on my end with tech today, thankfully. Fingers crossed, of course. Okay, looks like most people are doing okay there. So not to trivialize your issue, Jeremy. Yeah, Lingo was great. Lingo is a super fun show. I feel like people are better at Wordle than the contestants were on Lingo too. Maybe that's just my misrecollection. So, okay, what to do with this Z? I have a Z. Do I have a way of doing like? I can't I want to do something that goes all the way, but this might be all I can do here. I don't think I have the right letters to do something like this. Zets, that's not a word. So I think in the interest of time, I probably have to do something like this. Another option, I guess, would be to just play veg here. Keeping all this stuff. Yeah, this isn't. I just need to play something. We're gonna. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so what are you gonna do? I drew very good letters. I'll have this at the very least available. Maybe something else. Yeah. Oh, like legists or something up here. So I have a couple options. Well, I probably don't want to play that because it takes an e hook of elegists. I don't know if I consider that Scrabble's wheelhouse. Scrabble doesn't need to only appeal to people like words, but I guess it's more of an opinion. No, I think I think it's fact insofar as it makes a lot of sense for us to not constrain our potential audience to just wordies, right? Like we want to do outreach to people who are gamers in general and can understand the strategic complexity of Scrabble even if they don't know every single word that they're seeing. I think that's a huge thing, but I would definitely, that audience is an important one. I definitely also think that the audience of casual Scrabble players for whom definitions are important, and there's tons of people that probably play with the house rules of can you define this, and if not, you can't play it. That's another big group, and there needs to be options and ways of popularizing the game to as many of those groups as possible. That's kind of a platitudinous thing to say. The actual way that you execute on that sort of, oh, wow, that blocks everything, I think. Oh, okay. Plexer, nice. Do I really not have anything here? Maybe not. All right, now maybe I'll play veg because it scores 30. Maybe I have a bingo somewhere, but I don't have time. Let's try this. Okay. This is a word. I thought about something with buys here, but I didn't see anything very good. What is cats? Yes. So that is a word that you will see a lot in English language Scrabble, authority. It's a variation of another spelling that's probably more common. There are a lot of words that we take from Arabic or Hebrew or other languages where we use them just enough that we take the word as our own, but we don't have one transliteration. So QAT, cat, is probably a top 2 or 3 important word to know in Scrabble because it uses the Q without a U, which is so damaging when you have that Q without a U to go with it. So the words that have a Q and no U become incredibly important by comparison because there's so few of them. All right, let's see here. Only a few words left here. How about just like stay or something like that? That's score. Well, do I really want to use my A? Let's hope I draw another one. Okay. I could easily be missing bingos here. I just don't have enough time to look super hard for them again. In that situation, I would have spent 15 minutes staring at my board for a bingo. It might have passed. Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm sort of... Oh, what just happened there? Oh, Jake exchanged. Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of just hoping that my instinct that this board is so closed that I'm very unlikely to be missing bingos. I'm hoping that that's correct. It's not clear. It doesn't have to be correct, of course. I could be mistaken, but the odds are slightly better than usual of it being correct. Hey, extra typo. How are you? Good to see you. No worries. All right. I just need to play something here. Oh, boy. It's going from bad to worse. Do you know any good keyword? That's a good pun. That's a good pun to... maybe I can videoify that pun somehow. So, yeah, this is not a good rack. I used up my A on stay, and now I have to worry about this spot potentially being usable by Jake. I'm 16 seconds over time, so there are a few things that are concerning for me, but I am up by 100-ish points here, so that's good. Transman says, Scrabble is good for me because I have ADHD and ASD. Yeah, I would think that this would be a good way for someone with ADHD to train the ability to focus really hard. I guess I don't want to speak out of turn because those aren't things that I personally have dealt with. So, for those that have that, maybe they can speak to the ways that Scrabble is sort of a good activity for them. All right, I'm just gonna do this and hope to get to the look at this rack. If I make that a graphic, I'll post it. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Spot for Ololiukis. Yeah, another classic crazy word, which I'm sure that someone out there has played at some point or other. Authority says, would you consider inventing something so you can name it something that works well for Scrabble? Great point. I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that would be the first thing that would come to my mind if somebody said, it's time you can invent any word you want. What would you do? Right? I would probably strongly think about that. I would think to myself, what can I invent that would be really helpful in a Scrabble game? That would definitely be the first the first thought. But that's my brain on Scrabble, of course. Yeah, a 2-letter V word. Yes. Although the V is kind of, the V is kind of nice for that reason, as a little unicorn that makes no 2-letter words. Am I rating myself after this? I wasn't planning on it. I think in general, ooh, he's trying to push me over. Got to make sure I don't lose on time. Although, do I have a place to play my U here? Yes, I do. I have one place for it and another. So I got to be ready to play my U here quickly. Okay. All right. Jake finishes. So he got pretty close to flagging me in this game, but of course I was able to finish it off. Thanks, Jake, for the game. That's the second game I played with Jake, in fact. This one a little bit slower pace, a little less insane. But still fruitful, very nice play. Nice bingo with these unfruitful letters. He plays fruitful as a bingo. So that was quite nice. Once again, for anybody just joining, the first hour, we had a nice little segment where I aired an interview and a game that I played with the winner of Frontier College Scrabble for Literacy 2021, the charity tournament that we held last year. If you're not familiar with that tournament, that's for good reason, because the finals of that event were held sort of on a private platform for donors only. But this year we're going to have the finals. Josh, that was your teammate. I'm so sorry. I said she was Jackson's teammate in the video, so I got that wrong, unfortunately. Sorry, Josh. I forgot who was teamed up with who, so I ad-libbed the wrong person. But she obviously, as Josh said, she was super, super nice, very generous. All right, I'll play Scrabbub. This will be my last game of the stream. Scrabbub, very active challenger in the chat. Really appreciate it. I didn't forget whose team won. I knew that Gena won by 2 points, but I forgot who was on whose team. So I apologize. I could have just answered my own question. I still have the VOD somewhere. So yeah, I'm sure I apologize, Josh, for that. So Jake says, there's a lot of times in that game I had good bingo tiles, but too many vowels. The decision making was hard between exchange and dumping OE. Yeah, those are very tricky decisions. A lot of those decisions revolve a little bit around how high do you think your success rate will be finding bingos, right? So if you feel that you've studied words a lot and that pretty much every bingo that you'll find with those letters is something that you're likely to see, then now it starts to be a little bit better to exchange, or, well, actually, I'm not sure if that makes a difference in decision making too much as I think about it. I think the amount of words you know is kind of relevant to both exchanging and playing. So that's probably not the decider. I guess it's more just dependent on each board, and will the bingos that you end up drawing with a very vowel heavy leave end up actually playing somewhere? I don't know. It's tricky. All right, I have to make a play here. I don't love this. It would be great to not use my R here. I can't do this. Can't do this. Power. I mean, is it possible I should use all my vowels here? FRS. All right. I don't really know what's best here. I don't love this as a play, but we're gonna do this. Yes, define. Yeah. So this is not what you guys think it means. Twitch audience. Thank you, Josh. Josh says, I think the decider is the board, the score of the play, and the score between you and your opponent. Yeah, and that's a lot, right? Not every play has all of those factors that go into it. So those little fishing plays can be very difficult to evaluate, and the reason that people bristle with about having to deal with them is precisely for that reason. Is that they're more delicate. There's more considerations, right? So for me, in this situation, it's much clearer, I think, that I'm supposed to place a word with my H here, right? So the H is going to score here for a boatload of points, and I just need to figure out, can I, is a play like this, AHI, is that better than something like this? And I'm going to say, yeah, I do think it is. So something like that seems really good, unless I'm missing something down from the J. This definitely feels like an easy play to evaluate because you just know that some play here is going to be correct, and there are fewer factors outside of this. Yeah, let's do that. Sometimes what the Twitch audience thinks is actually right and the dictionary is wrong. Yeah, I think FAP is probably the most the most salient example of that's out there. Yes, and I'm sure, I mean, as far as internet slang that's coming to the Scrabble dictionary, I'm sure that, Pog is coming. I don't know if what other Twitch chat words or internet words do we think are coming? Yeet. Oh, Sag is a good one. Sag, yeet. Pog with that spelling exactly. Uwu. Oh yeah, that's right. Owo and uwu. Those, yeah, this one is going to be just a game changer. When that gets in, oh my God, what a game changer that'll be. A lot of exchanges will turn into uwus. And it's going to come. I bet it's coming at some point. Maybe not next edition, but maybe the one after or the one after that, but it is coming. I'm confident. We have to keep it alive. LOL. So LOL is a silly one because for whatever reason, this one is in there, and not even that, this one is in there too, as you see, the lulz. Sorry, Authority, I queried the bot too many times, so it got tripped up on mine. But you can see Poggers is not in there either. All right, I have to have a bingo here other than like out Yelps. So I have this, but do I not? I really don't have anything. Oh, now I have this. So, okay, that should do. Maybe there's something better that doesn't put the S in a hittable position, or maybe something here, like with that combination, like oyster. If that was a word, it would score 100. It's of course not. I'll just play tourneys. I assume that's likely to be one of the better words I can play there, and of course I drew this. So poor Scrab Bub, through no fault of his own. I'm drawing good letters again. And let's see. Other spots where that will play, I'm not sure. It could easily get blocked. It's a little scary to play something like this. There might be, maybe I'm supposed to just play like ol, leaving better tiles. Hard to say. My first choice here obviously would be bingoing again to the S with Loiners. I mean, yeah, so Dustin, you're right. I mean, it does feel like I draw well a lot, but of course, there is to a certain extent, I am finding all of the bingos that I'm drawing. Not all. I've missed some on here, including a couple weeks ago I missed Insurer as a natural 7, which still surprises me that actually occurred. Authority actually saw the word Loiners somewhere recently. Okay, that's more than I can say for that word. All right, radio is the play. Anything to the D, re-loined? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just a Loiners here. And move on. Wow, look at all this. Look at all these goodies. I mean, all kinds of good stuff here. X, Z, probably some good places to play here for sure. So I can't say that I have issues in this game. I'm wondering, do I have something in this spot? Maybe I can set up a place for myself to play Zax. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Blastoise, how are you? Good to see you. I've been lurking a little bit as I've been able. I was out of town this weekend at my in-laws, which was, I know the trope is that going to your in-laws is supposed to be a horrible, painful experience, but my in-laws are just a wonderful group of people, lovely family. So I had a wonderful time, but yeah, not as much time. I probably would have streamed this weekend otherwise. And yeah, I'm looking forward to. I actually haven't played Battle Royale in like 4 or 5 days, which is quite a while. So looking to get back to it. I've been lurking a little bit on Blastoise's stream as well. Hey, Osmiguel, nice to see you. So yeah, I'm at the 2-hour mark here. So this is going to be the last game of the day. So if you're just stopping by, thank you. It's good to see everybody. But we're in the waning minutes of this stream as I play this last game, and I'm up by a lot of points. We can cut to this so you can see just how many points I'm up by. Thank you, Critter and Extra Typo, for wanting to rig things in my favor, but I would like to earn whatever I get. That's my hope. Working on a Scrabble-themed crossword. Actually, I think the New York Times Sunday puzzle was some kind of anagramming thing. Are there any crossworders here that can confirm that? I'm pretty sure that there was like, maybe it was this Sunday or one of the recent Sundays where it was like phrases that are rearranged. Something like that. I can't remember. I wish I had some examples. Oh, it was one of the clues was like, one way that you can tell, that somebody, how can you tell that someone is a blank? It's because they blank. And one of the answers was one way you can tell that somebody is a sycophant. One way that you can tell somebody is a sycophant is that he acts phony. So that was the anagram. Sorry if I spoiled that for anyone. All right. Will has an amazing play here. Oh, okay. Well, I wonder if I should try to find it or just play normal. I wonder if it's a setup play. Anyway. Do I have a cool play here? Not really. Yeah, I don't really have a way to use my X or my Z in that spot, unfortunately. Not without the gender pronoun. Okay, doesn't feel like I have that good of a play. I guess it must be a setup that I'm not capable of seeing unless I'm focused harder. So let me play. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I don't have a lead on anything interesting or exciting here. I'll probably just play like Zach's. It's 47. Leaves big underlaps. Surely that's not the exciting play. So let's just hear. I'm happy to hear what it is. All right. The amazing play is to fish for a bingo. Oh, is that all? C6. Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. So the play that Josh is suggesting is to play Ninja here. The reason I would do that is to set up a potential well over 100-point Z play going down with Za. Very, very creative and fun play. It's a lot. Obviously, that would be a content play for sure. Might even have enough strategic merit. I mean, I guess it leaves me with Z and M. So I would have to draw very, very precisely to hit something down there. But anytime I did, it would just be a massive bomb of a play, which is very fun. I have to admit, that's a fun idea. All right, Scrabble plays Tattooed. Nice play. Very nice. Bingoing for 60 points, cutting the gap. I'm still up by quite a bit. I don't have a hook to EX, or else I would be looking to slot something in there. I don't have an A to play parallel to Zach's, so I can't be worried about that either. So what then? Just impend. 24 gets my duplicates off. I have 2 sets of duplicated tiles. Maybe I'm supposed to... Oh, what about like Mizzen? Is that worth playing? 32. This puts a letter in a triple lane somewhat needlessly and makes another spot here. There are situations where I might do this, even at risk of losing a game that I'm completely dominating in the scoreboard. Thank you, Transman, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Appreciate the sub as well. And catch you later. Yeah, some discussion of wordplay with anagramming and stuff like that. Oh, the laziest type of clue, says Physics. And that I definitely trust Physics, who is a quite accomplished solver in his own right. All right, let's just play oops, wasn't in the right window. Let's just play Mizzen. Even though this is probably the only way I can lose this game, I still feel like in many, many tournament situations, I would play this just because it's just a better play, and I'm going to win by more points after this than impend. So probably, oh man. Okay. So I have this, and I don't think Pontines plus an S is anything, or Pontine plus an S is anything. So I have my big play here, and then I just have another S hook here, I suppose. Maybe I have something better somewhere. I can't find anything to the D right now. Is that possible? No bingo to the D with this rack. I just don't know. I can't. All right, we'll see what Cameron defining some words. I do have that as a play, so I will allow it. I will allow it here. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I am. Okay, so now it's even less. Never mind. It's even. All right, no jokes. Okay, I have a joke in my head. I don't want it regurgitated in the chat. I don't want people to be talking about that word not fitting on the board. Inappropriate. Anyone that thought that, you shame on you. Get your mind out of the gutter. I certainly didn't think of it. Okay. So I play points, and I'm just drawing really good letters. I definitely deserve to get hit with a massive play here, but it's probably not likely to occur. There is a bingo through the N. There is a bingo through the N in Collins, in the UK English Dictionary, mole hunt. Obviously, the N not at all in the correct positioning for that, even if it was possible. Yeah, I mean, this is just drawing good stuff for sure. So let's see if we can just come up with some good scoring plays here. How about well, not much goes here. I'm assuming that I should be playing here somehow. Unhelm looks like a good way to go through there. After Ninja. Oh wow, are you actually, Josh, you quackled it to figure that out? 60 with 0% bingo. Beautiful. Yeah, 60 plus 13, yeah, with no chance of upside. Well, there is a pretty good chance of upside beyond that. You can sometimes get a 5-letter Z play in that spot. That's very interesting. So, yeah, let's see. What else? Oh, because of Minx. Oh, I was supposed to play Minx instead of Zax. Is that what we're saying? 8. Minx 8A. Yeah, I don't understand. I'm too dim-witted to understand what Extra Typo is saying. Ninja sets up Minx if you draw an I. Oh, got it. Okay, so that's a total other thing that I didn't even realize. So this play that Josh wanted would have left MXZ. So Ninja, early in the game, without all this stuff here, would have set up a spot for me to play down for 100 points, possibly, if I draw a Z play that reaches the double word. Right, this on the other side of the board. Or if I play Ninja, it also would let me play Minx here. So a couple of exciting options. Maybe I get one after the other. Yeah, really cool idea. Don't have that creativity here. Certainly while streaming. Maybe I think of something cool if I'm a little more focused. Yeah, well, if you find yourself a sucker to play it against like me, then setup plays can be really successful. All right, but hopefully I will learn at some point. All right, Fawn for Scrabbub. Gets rid of his F in a good spot. I think I should probably play on Helm. just to not tempt fate any longer than is necessary, and we move on. So yeah, definitely had the run of the tiles so far here. In between this first blank and a bingo, then a second bingo, and then a third bingo. Z, X, as you know, pretty much every good tile that's been played is one that I've drawn. So, so it goes. It's not always, doesn't always go that way. So you gotta enjoy it while it happens. Okay, let's see. Tiles unseen, blank, Q, 2 S's. The Q doesn't look that appealing. Only one U to pair it with, so that's definitely something we want to avoid. But of course, most of this is academic at the score at this level. So yeah, let's see. We covered some interesting topics on the stream today. What subjects did I discourse on this stream? We did our Frontier clip. That was a lot of fun. Definitely want to make sure that anyone that's interested is aware that we have this really cool event that's happening. They're doing amazingly well again so far, raising money. But to anyone out there in the Scrabble community that's interested in participating and potentially getting a pretty one-of-a-kind Scrabble experience, right? You don't often get to play with actual celebrities. You know, Colin Mockery has 500,000 Twitter followers or something. I think that counts as, celebrity level in my book. But he's also a wonderful guy, and his wife, Deborah, is also hilarious. And to play a Scrabble game alongside those two, as well as Josh and Chloe Fatsis. What an experience. And all you have to do is donate to a great cause. So that was the first part of the stream, and we've just been playing some more games on Play Scrabble since that time. So I have voice for 31 and probably a very similar voice for 30. These plays look nearly identical. Maybe voice is ever so slightly better just because there's no way to play parallel at all, whereas the voice in this spot could give up maybe plays to the triple that wouldn't exist otherwise. It's probably, I guess maybe the most salient thing about voice actually is it creates a nice spot to dump the Q, which maybe I don't care that much about one way or another, but we'll just do this and see what happens. Okay. This is like my first bad playing Scrabble with Colin Mockery. Sleepy guy. Playing Scrabble with Josh Pog, indeed. No, Colin, it's actually a lot of fun to play with Colin because he's a good player and he's funny as hell. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. I will not be playing. I will be sort of doing more of a producer type role. But of course, we will see Josh there again. And as well as Chloe, which is very exciting, filling in for last year's Scrabble ringer, Jackson Smiley. It was a lot of fun. Again, I know it's like there was no real way for the outside world to view any of that, so you're probably saying, wow, I would have liked to watch that if only I knew it existed. But that was sort of the format. It was open to donors to the event, and that was it. That was part of the value of donation. But what we're hoping to do this year is to turn it into a really cool spectator event, and in so doing, hopefully we can raise additional money during the broadcast and get more of a turnout of players to compete in the initial phase. Yeah, I have the unlisted YouTube link. I could undercut Josh. Okay, Cleric is the play. I see Scrabub is over time as well. So let's see. I have an S here. I could just play something like Gowns for a pretty good score, leaving TV. Seems reasonable. I don't think I have a great way of scoring with my W on there. This is a word in Collins. but don't worry about that. So I'll just play gowns. Okay, well, that's just dumb luck because I drew the Q, but I also drew it with the U, which is not very likely to have happened. So we now are threatening nice big plays like this or that. It's probably better. So we're going to continue to pile these points on. Poor Scrabbub. Very, very little it feels like he could have done to avert this. Of course, you never know until you see. He may be able to get a, okay, there it is. I was gonna say he may be able to get a walk-off bingo here, which he does do. So okay, we'll do this. Setting up ovary, but of course he's gonna go out with his eye if he doesn't go overtime. He's just got to find a way to get that eye. Oh wait, it's 5 minutes overtime. Never mind. I thought it was only 1. So he'll have ample time to scan the board. Looks like this is the best spot right here for his... Oh, Quavery, I totally missed. Yeah, obviously doesn't matter. Yep, Quavery would have been significantly better in that same spot. Just didn't spend enough time. Yeah, this would be the best spot for the eye right here. But other than that, plenty of other places to play it. You can pop your eye here, here. And that's going to do it. Oh, got a chat from him here. Thanks for the game. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, totally fine. Don't hesitate to do 25 next time. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm not punching a clock. There are other things to do, but always happy to do my best to accommodate people's wish for what time control they'd like to play. So, and we have another cat. Hello. Yeah, this is Emmy. Viewers of my channel will definitely recognize all of these cats. This is a good cat. Are you going to come up? Raid into cat cam. I have to go get dinner ready and probably not stream, but maybe, man, I don't want to promise streaming on any given day, but I definitely am desperate to stream more on my personal channel. It's just going to be a tough week. Monday off, out of town, and also have to go out of town Thursday afternoon into Friday to New York, helping my mom with something. So short week. It seems like never a dull moment. But definitely wanting to get back to doing some Wanderer 15 streams as well. So I would love to promise it, but I feel like my last 2 or 3 promises, I've broken them all. So I can only promise that I will do my very best to find some time. Why does the channel have a we have emotes. Wow. I don't know. That certainly wasn't me that did that. I wonder who did those emotes. That's great. I didn't know we had them, but we'll have to work on doing some snazzy Scrabble channel emotes at some point. Did I? Oh, it looks like, hold on. What's happened here? Is connection an issue? Let me just see. Cool. Yeah, we definitely have to pump up the channel with all channel points and all other stuff like that. So, yeah, no, Scrabbub did not rage quit. He's a super friendly guy. He probably didn't even realize that the game was still continuing. I think that's what actually occurred there. So, anyway, very good. So, I think that's going to do it. Let's just see. So basically for raids, I'll be happy to raid somebody that's like word adjacent. I think we raided Eric last time. So we don't have to raid Eric again unless we have other options. Let's see if somebody is doing like a Wordle or Wordle. Okay, somebody's doing Wordle. Let's raid. This guy has 38 viewers. His name is Kenny Howler. He's playing Wordle right now. I'm not really sure what app or anything he's using, but this will at least be a word game, and people that are watching might be sort of Scrabble adjacent. So let's just see if we can get some good vibes going. With this guy, I'm not familiar with him. He's currently streaming Wordle to an audience of 38 viewers. So let's see how his viewership reacts to get a raid from Scrabble itself. Yeah, it was good vibes. So once again, one final plug for Frontier. Anybody that's on the fence, it could be really cool to participate in that event. It starts out on Scrabble Go and then moves to Scrabble Web for the finals, a chance to play alongside Scrabble experts and celebrities and support a good cause. And other than that, we played a bunch of fun games and had some good discussions. So next up is going to be on this channel will be Josh on Thursday, I think, although we have to check, Josh. I don't know if we have to check and see if Josh is okay with that schedule, or maybe that's not the week that we're worried about. But I think Josh will be up live on this stream in his normal time. And other than that, thank you very much, everybody. It was a lot of fun, as usual. Josh says, I will be here. So look forward to Josh Thursday evening. And until we meet again, thanks, guys. Catch you later.